Every morning, as the first rays of sunlight filtered through the curtains, Sarah awoke to the familiar sound of her alarm clock buzzing insistently. She stretched, feeling the gentle pull of her muscles, and took a deep breath, inhaling the fresh morning air that wafted through the slightly cracked window. It was another day, another chance to embrace her commitment to health and wellness. One of the cornerstones of her routine was her steadfast dedication to hydration, a habit she had cultivated over the past year. As she swung her legs out of bed, her eyes landed on the sleek, reusable water bottle resting on her bedside table, a constant reminder of her goal to drink at least 2 liters of water each day. Sarah had learned the hard way about the importance of hydration. She had once been a chronic sufferer of headaches, fatigue, and lack of focus, often attributing her ailments to stress or lack of sleep. It wasn't until she read an article about the benefits of proper hydration that she decided to make a change. The article had highlighted how water is essential for nearly every function in the body, from regulating temperature to aiding digestion, and she was intrigued. With a determined smile, she reached for her water bottle, filled it to the brim with filtered water, and took a long, refreshing sip. The cool liquid slid down her throat, invigorating her senses and setting a positive tone for the day ahead. She had discovered that starting her morning with water not only quenched her thirst, but also jump-started her metabolism, preparing her body for the activities that lay ahead. Her routine was simple yet effective. After her morning sip, she would head to the kitchen to prepare a healthy breakfast. As the toast popped up and the smell of fresh coffee filled the air, she made it a point to refill her water bottle again. This was a crucial step. She knew that keeping her water intake front and center would help her stay on track throughout the day. With breakfast in hand and her water bottle filled, she settled down at the kitchen table, ready to enjoy her meal and plan her day. Sarah worked as a marketing coordinator at a bustling tech company where her days were often filled with meetings, brainstorming sessions, and the occasional deadline pressure. The fast-paced environment could easily lead to neglecting her hydration, but she had devised a strategy to ensure she met her goal. She kept a second water bottle at her desk, a bright blue one that was impossible to miss. It served as a visual reminder to drink more water, and she made it a point to refill it at least twice during her workday. As she sipped from her bottle throughout the morning, she noticed the benefits of her hydration habit manifesting in various ways. Her skin, once dull and prone to breakouts, now had a healthy glow. Friends and coworkers would often compliment her on how radiant she looked, and Sarah felt a surge of confidence with each compliment. Hydration had not only improved her physical appearance, but also her mental clarity. Gone were the days of mid-afternoon slumps. Instead, she found herself alert and focused, able to tackle tasks with a newfound vigor. However, the journey to consistent hydration was not without its challenges. There were days when the demands of work would pull her in multiple directions, and she would forget to drink water for hours on end. On those days, she would feel the familiar signs of dehydration creeping in: dry mouth, fatigue, and a slight headache. Recognizing these symptoms, Sarah would take a moment to pause, reminding herself of the commitment she had made to her health. She would fill her bottle once more, taking deliberate sips until she felt the refreshing coolness of water reviving her. During lunch breaks, Sarah took advantage of the opportunity to step outside for a quick walk. This routine not only provided her with a mental break, but also encouraged her to drink more water. She would often bring her water bottle along, sipping as she walked, enjoying the fresh air and the warmth of the sun on her skin. The combination of movement and hydration worked wonders for her mood, and she found herself returning to work with a renewed sense of energy. As the afternoon wore on, Sarah would often find herself in meetings where discussions could stretch on for hours. She learned early on that bringing her water bottle into the conference room was essential. It was a small yet powerful act that kept her accountable. As she listened to her colleagues present their ideas, she would take sips from her bottle, ensuring she stayed hydrated even in the midst of intense discussions. After work, Sarah enjoyed winding down by engaging in activities that brought her joy. She loved yoga, and her instructor often emphasized the importance of hydration during their sessions. The gentle movements and deep breathing required during yoga made her acutely aware of how vital water was to her performance. She would always arrive at class with a full water bottle, sipping throughout the session and feeling a sense of satisfaction as she met her hydration goals. Evenings were a time for relaxation and self-care. After dinner, Sarah would often curl up with a book or watch a favorite show. However, she made it a point to keep her water bottle close by. Sipping, she indulged in her evening routine. She found that staying hydrated helped her sleep better at night, as she no longer woke up in the middle of the night feeling parched. Instead, she would drift off to sleep with a sense of satisfaction, knowing she had cared for her body throughout the day. Over time, Sarah began to notice additional benefits of her hydration habit. Her digestion improved significantly. Gone were the days of bloating and discomfort after meals. She felt lighter and more energetic, able to engage in physical activities without feeling weighed down. Her workouts became more effective, and she found herself pushing her limits. Whether she was lifting weights or going for long runs, hydration had become a vital part of her fitness journey, allowing her to recover faster and perform better. As the months passed, Sarah's commitment to hydration became second nature. She no longer had to consciously remind herself to drink water. It was ingrained in her daily routine. Friends began to notice her transformation, not just in her appearance, but in her overall demeanor. She was more positive, more engaged, and more present in conversations. The simple act of drinking water had ripple effects that extended far beyond physical health. It had enhanced her mental well-being and emotional resilience. Yet, there were still moments of temptation. Social gatherings often posed a challenge, particularly when friends would order sugary drinks or cocktails. Sarah found herself navigating these situations with grace. She would often opt for sparkling water with a slice of lime, enjoying the fizz while staying true to her hydration goals. Her friends admired her commitment and often sought her advice on how to incorporate healthier habits into their own lives. One evening, at a friend's birthday party, Sarah was surrounded by laughter and celebration. The atmosphere was vibrant, music playing softly in the background as people mingled. As she sipped her sparkling water, she engaged in conversation with a group of friends, sharing stories and laughter. Someone asked her about her glowing skin, and Sarah seized the opportunity to share her hydration journey. She spoke about the benefits she had experienced and how simple it was to incorporate water into her daily routine. To her surprise, several friends expressed interest in joining her on this journey. They began to ask questions about how much water they should be drinking and how she had managed to stay consistent. Sarah felt a sense of pride as she shared her tips and strategies, realizing that her commitment to hydration had inspired others. It was a beautiful moment, one that reinforced her belief in the power of healthy habits and the importance of sharing knowledge. As the seasons changed, so did Sarah's approach to hydration. She began to experiment with infusing her water with fruits and herbs, creating refreshing combinations that made drinking water even more enjoyable. Lemon and mint became her go-to favorites, and she found herself looking forward to the burst of flavor each time she took a sip. This little twist not only kept her hydrated, but also added an element of fun to her routine. Yet, despite her best efforts, there were days when life would throw unexpected challenges her way. A particularly busy week at work left her feeling overwhelmed, and she noticed her water intake slipping. She felt the familiar signs of dehydration creeping in, and it was a wake-up call. Sarah took a moment to reflect on her priorities and the importance of self-care. She realized that hydration was not just a goal, it was an essential part of her well-being. Determined to get back on track, she set reminders on her phone to drink water throughout the day. She also made sure to pack her water bottle whenever she left the house, whether it was for a meeting or a social event. Slowly but surely, she regained her momentum, reminding herself that setbacks were a natural part of any journey. As the year drew to a close, Sarah reflected on her hydration journey. She had experienced a transformation that extended far beyond physical health. The commitment to drink 2 liters of water a day had become a symbol of her dedication to herself, her well-being, and her overall lifestyle. She felt a profound sense of gratitude for the lessons she had learned along the way. Hydration had taught her the importance of listening to her body, recognizing its needs, and responding with care. It had shown her that small, consistent changes could lead to significant results. Most importantly, it had connected her with a community of friends who were now inspired to prioritize their own health. As she filled her water bottle one last time before bed, Sarah smiled, knowing that she had embraced a habit that would serve her well for years. With a heart full of gratitude and a body nourished by water, she drifted off to sleep, ready to greet another day, another opportunity to celebrate the power of hydration.